This isn't life!
Hello, and welcome to This Isn't Life. We are in the new space. We are in the new studio, aren't we, boys?
Yeah. We are.
This week, Josh has something that he wants to speak about. Something that I've introduced him to.
Yeah.
And I know Parky's gonna love it. Will, you know about it? You know about Ip, yeah.
Right, yeah. It's,
yeah, quite old.
You've only just found out about him.
Yeah. So there's a film called Ip Man, right? And I was like, Alex, what the fuck are you talking about? Like Ip Man. He's like, how do you know about Ip Man? It's like an Enter the Dragon type film. It turns out, Ip Man, it's played by an actor called Donnie Yen. That's like the actor playing Ip Man.
He's in Star Wars and everything. He's in loads.
Donnie Yen is, but Ip Man was around in like sort of, I think, First World War. So 1920s, that was kind of his era. He was like a grandmaster of like the list of his like kung fu, karate, he knows he's eighth dan in all of them.
So he's like kung fu master.
But he trained Bruce Lee.
Right.
But there's I don't know. I think this is true about Ip Man, who he plays, who's like a guy from 1920s. He essentially helped stop the invasion of Japan in China single-handedly.
Yeah.
Because he
beat up a general.
Yeah, a general who was like the best in Japan at hand-to-hand combat. Like tried to fight everyone in this little town, and he was like, I need to make you fight for like bags of rice.
Yeah.
And Ip Man watched all these people like get battered. They would say, I want 3 people, 3 bags of rice. He fought 10 people on his own and beat every single one of them at the same time. And the general was like taking notice. He was like, I want to fight him. And he's like, I'm not fighting you, sort of thing. He's like, I want to fight you in front of the whole nation. So when I beat you, I'll beat in China. And he goes, no, I don't want to fight. I don't fight and all that. He goes, right then. And they have a park it. And it's a true story. And it helped with, obviously didn't help win the war, but it was like a massive step towards like...
Oh, it's like a propaganda...
Yeah, mate. And there's like 5 of them?
4.
Yeah. Hasn't one got Mike Tyson in?
I don't know.
Don't know.
But Parky,
I've only seen the first 2.
Up.
I never watched 3 and 4.
Wait, this is like a reimagining kind of thing.
No, it's the first one.
Man's a real person.
The first one is the true story.
And then it's like...
And then the second one's the true story as well, but how he started his martial arts school.
And how he met Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee comes in at the end as a kid.
Yeah, he was living in a little village in China when Japan invaded. And then at the end, he goes to Hong Kong, and that's where he started his school. Yeah. And the second one's all about him trying to start his school up.
Is his name Ip Man?
IP, yeah.
Yeah, Ip Man. That was his name.
Ip Man is his name.
But the actor's Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Donnie Yen's class in his own right.
Yeah,
he was in the new John Wick.
Yeah, he's in all of them.
He's in Star Wars.
Yeah, he is.
But he's also
I thought that, and I looked it on Google, and it comes up with all of them. He's credited in all of them. So I don't know if he helped produce it or whatever.
He must have been like a choreographer or something.
Maybe.
He only appears as a character though in the last one.
in the last one, but he's in all of them. Or he has something to do with all of them.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But yeah.
What do you reckon? I love John Wick, right? Might be one of my favourite films ever. The series.
I've only seen the first one.
Of John Wick. You know, really? Oh mate, you need to get on that. You'd love those films.
Yeah, I like kind of movies as well.
But
Rihanna
I don't know if there's going to be a 5th one.
I couldn't tell you.
Like
I've only seen the first one.
Oh mate.
How many films can you?
I saw the first one. I've tried to give the others a go, but I wasn't as impressed with the others.
Really?
Yeah. As it went off, I think I watched a bit of the second.
It's too samey.
Third. Yeah, it was. I felt like they made a film, John Wick 1, really good film.
Yeah,
like a bit of an outrageous concept, but it worked.
Yeah.
And then they went, holy fuck, this film's done a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, that's probably.
And then had
the
to rush to get this series.
It's got a bit of a cult following now, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I kind of love that though, because the story is of this vast criminal underworld, and you use gold coins and there's all blood packs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it appeals to that kind of audience.
It's cool.
And then there's just action and it's fucking lights, camera action.
It's great.
Everything's
film.
such a visual experience,
Yeah.
I think it's like an artistic. It's like someone going, I want to see how far I can push this.
But he does that in a lot of his films. Matrix.
Yeah.
That's visually
but
stunning.
It's not his film.
All of them films of the concept is excellent.
No, the films he's in. Speed.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, he doesn't really pick bad films.
To be fair,
give him his flowers, man.
Yeah.
He don't pick bad films.
Yeah, he's good.
Movies,
Constantine.
Constantine, unbelievable.
Great,
film.
great
unbelievable film.
Might be
Isn't
making a
it gonna-
second one.
Yeah,
second one
Oh,
coming
I
out.
love that.
Yeah.
First one was great.
Yeah.
I think he's so good in the rom-coms. Have you seen the one that he's in with Jack Nicholson?
Oh, I don't know.
Jack
Jack
Nicholson.
Nicholson.
Rom-com.
Yeah, what? Jack Nicholson, the Batman, the Joker.
Yeah.
How the fuck could Jack Nicholson be in
Rom-com.
a rom com?
Yeah, he's like an
Where's
old-
my Johnny? As he goes to love.
I can't remember the name of the film. I'm telling you, we don't have to Google it to find out what one it is.
Yeah, I've just got it.
But he plays. He plays.
Condom.
He plays a love interest in there. It's I
Oh.
thought the woman in it is really famous as well. It's like big names in there.
I don't know.
But she basically ends up in a
How-
turmoil. She has a choice between Jack Nicholson. This is like
Oh,
actually.
Keanu
I'm gonna go
Keanu
through it,
Reeves, yeah.
Because,
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I know. This is the thing, though. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is a doctor, yeah, as well. Yeah, but Jack Nicholson, he's a bit of a scumbag, like a bit of a lad in there. But he has the one defining factor that always seems to win. He's really fucking rich. He's really
Right,
famous. So
okay.
guess what one she chooses?
Keanu
Jack
Reeves.
The rich one.
Oh yeah, cool. It's the rich one. So it's like the 50 Shades of Grey. I always thought that. You know when they watch 50 Shades of Grey and it's like women try to put it so like complicated and dark and mysterious and stuff.
Yeah.
It's because he got dough.
It's because he's fucking. If you take away his
Yeah,
money,
when you used to, you used to get thrown out of the club.
yeah.
Oh, it's a money thing, is it?
First time I
It's a
watched
money
it,
thing.
and there's a bit where they're like, he does something that's absolutely horrendous. Like,
Yeah, no, he tells her what to eat and tells her to stop eating and that.
tries to
doesn't
get the
he?
fuck out of her, and then he turns up in a helicopter, and then they're like,
All's
oh.
forgot as she's
Sold,
limping. As she's
sold.
limping to the helicopter, all's forgiven.
Yeah. And then everyone tries to palm it off like, oh yeah, I get it because
He's
he's
so
come back.
sick.
He's come back for a no. If he'd have turned up in a Fiesta,
Yeah.
to make up, she'd have told him to fuck
And
off.
gone,
Yeah,
get
he's
in.
just seeing how far he can push it. Like,
Yeah.
he's laughing, going, she keeps coming back to me.
There's
She
nothing I can't do.
keeps coming back
There's
to
nothing
me.
I can't do. If I pull up in a Rolls Royce or a fucking helicopter, I could kill her mum. Oh fuck that bitch! I didn't like her anyway. So where we going?
Can
Come here.
talking of eating, Josh actually we mentioned a few weeks ago on the pod, didn't we, about sexy food and Will's obsession with like
Oh yeah, I
fingering
did. Do you
donuts.
know what?
Don't take
And
it back.
we
I'll never take it back.
we went out. We went to Wingstop. We drove all the way
Wingstop,
to
man.
Wingstop in Chelmsford.
If we can get a deal
Right.
with Wingstop,
Wait, all the way. He lives in Billericay.
It's quite a way. That's
It's
just
a bus. It's a short bus ride away.
yeah, but that's a long.
And drive.
That's a long way. That's a long way just to go to a
£2
fast. To a,
£2 bus journey, that is.
what's Chelmsford?
Yeah.
Oh, come off it.
No, seriously.
It takes 20 minutes in a car.
No, they got a thing on like £2 anywhere in
I don't get the bus, mate. I'm not poor.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
that is we do not abide by
No.
that on this podcast.
Drive
We-
there,
and
that's
then
the,
you
that's
eat,
the,
and
that's
then
the
you went to
Tories thing
Wingstop.
will ever be said. In
Yeah.
fact,
Will you
in
get on a
fact,
bus?
fucking
Would you get on a bus now that you drive?
Yes, I
Charge me
would.
anything, I'll get on a
Yes,
bus,
I
doesn't
would.
matter.
Yes, I would. They're trains with wheels.
There's a difference between not getting on the bus and begrudging the people that have to use the bus.
Yeah, that's
No,
very
no,
true.
no.
Very separate things.
No, but
And you are a
Did you
Tory.
just say that's
well, I'm not. I'm not.
Didn't,
Tory.
didn't we hear?
Ding
Didn't we
dong,
just hear he
which
said
is
they're
dead.
scum?
I didn't say the scum.
Um,
Did not say
I
the scum.
think he did.
Anyway,
Don't you call it the
we-
peasant wagon when people are around?
That's the thing you spit at as it drives past.
but we walked into Tesco, didn't we?
Yeah,
And we
and
found something.
I saw it. Alex turned around and looked at me, and as soon as I looked at him, I thought that might be the sexiest food I've ever seen in my life.
Let's have a look.
Look what it's called.
Nut milk. What does it say underneath?
Nut,
Does it say
Nut
choco-
milk?
It says nut milk, choco peanut.
Oh, chocolate.
More cocoa, less sugar. I'm vegan, but nut milk.
Nut milk.
Contains
I've
real
always said if it's a
skeet.
Chico peanut.
No, yeah, no.
With a bit of a
cheaper,
Latin,
yeah.
with a Latin twist.
No.
which
But
is
nut
always
milk.
Sexy.
Nuts milk, I
Nut
thought was
milk,
hilarious.
Nuts milk. Yeah.
Busting nut
Yeah.
milk
Yeah.
everywhere.
So many words for it in there.
Yeah.
Man, mastic, like
Muck.
Protein.
yeah. Man, yogurt. Like.
My favourite is baby gravy.
Yeah, baby
Oh.
gravy. I love baby
It's
gravy.
old school, but it's
Yeah,
I just called it burning white.
burning.
if I was you, I'd call it that thing that keeps getting me in trouble.
Should we get into it, lads? Get into
Yeah.
today's story. So I've got the story. I'll give you the headline as per usual, and I don't think you'll guess it. It's quite famous, to be fair.
Washington Post.
No, the news. It's not a paper. It's online. It was a paper, but only paper in fictional things. So
What do you mean,
you'll
what, in,
you'll
like-
only ever find the paper.
Well, like the
Well, the
watching-
Goosebumps.
No.
well, like the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, like the
Like
Daily
in-
Bugle,
oh,
like in
okay,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
It's
Alright.
only
So like a fictional. It's a fictional.
it's visual that turned real,
Oh, really? Okay.
right?
Oh.
But I'll give you the
Daily Planet.
close.
Weekly World
That's
News.
Bang on.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, you twat!
What's that from then? The Weekly World News.
Everything. You watch like old 90s films, stuff like that, you'll see it. Weekly World News.
Okay. I suppose it's quite generic.
Yeah. But
Quite generic name, isn't it?
the headline is Redneck Vampires terrorize Alabama once again.
Oh, no.
So this is the
what's
second
the point?
time.
They're at it again.
This is the second time, not just the first time. It's the second time.
Those damn vampires.
Yeah.
Why did Alabama outlaw garlic? Don't it feel silly now?
It's July 7th, 2021 by Frank Lake. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that what they call gays? Vampires.
In Alabama, yeah. Yeah.
All that sucking.
But it says
And they sleep in a coffin.
Transil AL, which is obviously Transil, Alabama.
Well, maybe the bats got confused on the way to Transylvania.
yeah, that's the point.
What's fair? They're rednecks.
They just
Dyslexia
typed it-
is
Yeah,
highly
yeah,
likely,
yeah.
or illiteracy is very likely.
They typed the wrong thing into maps, wasn't it? That's what they did.
Yeah,
And they thought,
definitely.
oh, 24-hour journey.
Are you sure this is right?
It says Transil AL. Everyone in these parts knew that Vladdy Joe Crump made moonshine.
He's the leader of vampires.
Vladdy.
I think they've taken over this town.
Vladdy Joe.
And there's all vampires. And he's like, what does the editor of a paper do? He's like, just write you fool. I think they've taken over the town. Everything so far has been
So-
vampire names.
Yeah, he's wrote this at gunpoint, hasn't he?
It's quite a long one. But
He's one of their familiars.
Familiar.
Vladdy Joe Crump made moonshine.
Vladdy Joe Crump.
Made moonshine in a cave below Dexter Mountain, and they knew he was a little strange. They all knew he was a vampire, but
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
thought that was over. That Vladdy Joe was in hiding permanently, but it looks like he's returned. Says the mayor Leroy Clemens.
Literally like Dracula.
Yeah,
Like he
literally
comes-
like
he
the
comes
mayor.
back.
Yeah.
the mayor. Yeah, mayor
The
of this
the mayor
town.
of this town has commented on
They're all happy to say.
the vampire that lives in a cave.
Yeah.
And has done for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
then
back
they're all
now.
like, yeah, he's definitely a vampire. He's definitely a vampire.
Yeah,
he
but-
just lives in a cave.
Why is
mate.
that? If he lives in a fucking cave.
But
Yeah,
is it a
well,
stunt?
they all
Is
live
it a
in it.
stunt? Oh, come here, we got a
If you've
vampire.
told me that, then yeah, of
Well,
course.
I'm sold now.
Vampire,
Come on.
duh.
Obviously.
I want to hear more because when the
Alright.
mayor's getting
Under
involved.
Dexter Mountain.
This
This
is
obviously got up the chain of command as well.
yeah.
This Jim's like, it's too big for me.
What's an Alabama accent? I'm going to do the accents for this one.
Don't do the
Alabama.
accent.
I'm going to do the accents. I'm going to do the
Really,
accents.
Really
Just say-
poor south, like really
Get the bus.
deep
Yeah,
south.
Like, get the bus.
Alabama.
Alabama.
You
Yeah.
lost,
Alabama.
boy.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
I like
Yes,
the way
sir.
you,
Yeah.
like the way you
think
die,
about
boy.
Yeah,
how
yeah,
sexy,
ma'am.
think
Yeah,
about
ma'am.
how sexy
Yes,
your
ma'am.
sister or your cousin is,
Ooh,
and then start speaking.
ooh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Think of it like,
Damn. Like that. Ooh.
think of it like fingering your sister and finding your dad's wedding ring.
Oh.
And then put that accent on.
Oh. Anyway.
This isn't life!
This podcast is sponsored by Dubby. Dubby was formulated to give you all the energies, all the focus, with no jitters or crash.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking no sugars, no calories, no maltodextrin, and no artificial colours.
You get 30 servings in every tub, and it comes in over 8 different flavours. But you know what else is sick about them? Their merch. T-shirts, hoodies and stickers, all on their website. Go check them out now.
And when you're on the website, type in "This Isn't Life" for 10% off your whole basket total.
This isn't life!
A couple of months back, we
Don't do the accent.
I'm doing it. A couple of months back, we started getting reports again of folks with puncture wounds on them. Mayor Clemens recalled. Doc Evans said there were fang marks, and we figured rattlers were the culprits. But we have few snakes handling churches down in the valley, and every once in a while, someone would get chomps. We don't pay much, never mind.
Okay, that was decent.
But when the bites appeared on Baptists and members of the assemblies of God, folks began getting worried all over again. My daughter, Sadie Lou, came home with what I thought was a hickey, which was troubling enough, said Rodney Sapp. But she also had a blank stare that was even worse than usual. And when her mama kissed her goodnight, she seen 2 little holes on her neck. I said, boy, howdy! I've seen enough horror movies to know them are the marks of a vampire.
Right, yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
They don't want to know.
Bobby's so confused, he's angry.
Boy, howdy!
You're like an old
They
man,
don't wanna know.
It's like you don't understand.
I feel like I haven't woken up yet after last night.
There's a little subtitle.
It seems like they don't want to know what their daughter's been getting up to. She
Yeah,
could be getting up
ignorant,
to anything.
ignorant, yeah.
She came back with a ball gag still in her mouth, and they're gone. Oh.
Yeah.
Her face was covered in vampire paint. She
Yeah.
must have been painted in pants.
She was actually taken by the people that's not sons of God.
She's been eating the ectoplasm again.
Every time she farted, she shat herself.
Devil spawn.
Yeah, she's got that. She's been
Yeah.
promiscuous.
Yeah. She's been
Loving
railed,
life
mate.
in the south.
Yeah, she's been piped.
God
yes.
bless her, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Like, she's like sort of 18, 19 years old. God bless her.
There's a little
Yeah, live your
subheading.
life, man. Live your life.
Yep, it's a vampire. Dr. Evans confirmed that the fang marks were too far apart to have been caused by a serpent. I knew something was sorely amiss. The 60-year-old town physician told Weekly World News, patients were asking for evening hours, then coming into my office walking like zombies. They were pale, severely anemic, and only abnormalities I could find were the bite marks. I consulted with our local dentist, who noticed that the wounds had marks of incisors, molars, and 1 wisdom tooth.
So like,
So she's
So-
cracky
not
going around
just
biting
these
people,
two,
isn't there?
There's a few others as well.
Yeah, it's like a full chomp.
So she's cracky
So
going around
we should-
biting
yeah,
people.
some
It
mental
sounds
case,
like
right?
the opium epidemic has finally made its way
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
Fentanyl.
We were dealing with a human, but a human with fangs. We've seen this before down here. We knew right away that them vampires were back.
Loud above. They call it the Black Summer. They're coming for our souls.
Um,
Do you ever feel like nothing happens in these towns? The smallest thing happens.
Yeah, they make it up, yeah.
They're fucking rubbing their hands together. They've had 10 years of boredom. Finally,
Yeah.
something's
Absolutely.
happened.
Nothing.
We're getting close to Vladdy Joe, though.
Excellent.
Word quickly spread, and everyone was under suspicion. Each odd mannerism was noticed. Odd beyond the usual and unusualness, Dr. Evans noted. Houses of suspects were striked out. Literally, prayer meetings were held. But the number of people entering churches dwindled as the number of people who said they had something else to be continued to mount. Suspicion soon became paranoia. One guy punched old Charlie Crane right between the eyes and drug him down to the jail. Related Mayor Clemens. He said Charlie was fixing to bite the neck of a purely little girl. I told them that it was plain foolishness because Charlie ain't got a tooth in his head.
We've got this far into the story, yeah, and we are talking about a toothless vampire.
No.
Hang on.
Not just that.
Turns out he was just
Gumula.
wobbly. He was just wobbly due to too much moonshine and fell against his cousin Mary.
and
Fell
what?
against his
He
cousin.
fell against her, so he wasn't
So
trying to
the-
bite her.
so
He
that-
just
that little
openly
girl was
mouthed.
raised an allegation of an old, drunk, toothless man falling on her, and they went, "No, he's just pissed. Just Charlie."
Yeah.
Are you not going to look into
Literally.
that, or
Literally.
he pleased him trying to neck of a child?
It says, who are the victims? he gave a child a gumming.
Yeah.
It says, who are the victims? The victims were mainly women, but few young men also fell prey to the blood-sucking monster. If there was a silver cloud, it was with that each new attack additional clues surfaced, said Dr. Evans. An analysis of the neck wounds revealed traces of chewing tobacco and a race car. A bass fishing magazines were found at the scene of several assaults. The conclusion was inescapable. So, in other words, he's found the 90s versions, not the 80s, the early 90s to early 2000s, or late 90s to early 2000s version of the Lost Boys. Basically. Then supercar and like Ferrari parts and fishing magazines.
Is that
Always
what
find at the crime scene.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's like his thing that he leaves. He doesn't take trophies, he
Oh,
leaves
really? I haven't
magazines.
seen the film.
How random.
Not the one with Kiefer Sutherland. That's a Lost Boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it-
Yeah,
keeps something?
that's the old one, though, isn't it?
I know the mouth from the Goonies, isn't it? Isn't he?
I've never
Yeah,
seen.
mouth, yeah.
I've heard it's like a
We've
cult.
spoken about
Who's
that
in the
before.
We
Goonies?
have,
The
yeah.
Goonies I've seen.
Oh,
The
I was gonna say.
Lost Boys. I
You
know
ever seen the
it's
Lost Boys? That was a good film.
No, it's supposed to be
I
like
tried to watch
classic.
it.
Mm,
But
it was good.
Couldn't stand it.
Them redneck vampires were back. As more and more people were eliminated by staking. God.
What?
They were actually fucking
They were staking people.
Yeah.
taking them
Where
out for
was
steak.
this?
No, this
It
is.
doesn't say.
This is Alabama.
Not by careful detective work and alibis were checked out. The list was narrowed to Vladdy Joe Crump, who lived in a
fucking
tar
cave.
paper shack on the edge of town.
Yes.
Neighbours realised they had seen Vladdy Joe in the daylight for quite some time.
Can I just ask? Right,
They have been. Okay.
Can I just ask why are these sorts of people who live on the outskirts of town, like in a shack in the woods, why aren't they in England?
Why?
We don't have those, do we? But they have them
Yeah,
in
you
America.
very rarely get people that live.
Do you mean?
Do you know why? Because, like people who like live in like fucking Mill Meadow or Norsey Wood, you don't get it. Or people
Yeah.
that build a shack.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I think in America because who wants to live in a swamp? So no one gives a shit if they live there.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's the amount of like greenery they have as well.
We have a lot of greenery here. If you wanted to build a little shack, you could.
Yeah, but if you did, we like in
And
this.
it's all green belt protected, isn't it?
Yeah,
A lot
it's
of
all
it.
like green well protected, and it's with our country, so there's more comparison. There's
Oh,
someone that
right.
like
Yeah,
owns
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like
yeah.
the land is like so valuable, whereas in America, like
It's not a free for all.
you won't have a fucking clue.
No.
Where like you'd be out in the middle of nowhere. It's not the old
Moonshiners.
who was the bomber guy.
Oh yeah, Ted
Oh,
Kaczynski.
yeah.
yeah,
the Unabomber.
yeah. I said the Unabomber, and he
He lived in a
out
shack.
in like a Montana cabin for years. Didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah, and like,
I suppose lake houses are quite common and things like that.
and even
yeah.
then they, but to be fair, even they knew he was out there. He knew he didn't know he was the Unabomber, but they knew he lived out in that shed thing, didn't they? Because he'd come into town sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that.
I just want to ask why, going back to the story, they've actually staked people to death.
Yeah, what do they mean
presumably,
by that? Are
And,
they
they,
not
and,
going
now,
into
and now, because they've killed, I don't know how many people they killed, someone's had the bright idea of going, do you know who it might be? Might be that Vlad guy.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
We've got in a lineup. We've got
After we killed Jerry, Stan, Tom,
Yeah.
Ian.
yeah, they've got him in a lineup.
Vlad Impaler, the guy that's got the fangs and the cape and turns
That's what I
his
was going
back.
to say.
Like,
Yeah, the guy goes around the cape all the time.
I mean, it literally just says, as
oh,
more...
Man, the sun. Never seen during the day.
It-
never goes to the pool.
Hasn't
It
doesn't own a mirror.
increased. That's the thing. It increased. As more and more people were eliminated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I reckon it is like that. It's like a lineup, and they're going, yeah, right, Jackson. Yeah, no, I mean, look, he looks a bit like him, but no, I don't think so. Ian, no. Reading,
Reading.
no.
Reading?
He's not
Reading?
there. I'm trying to think of like Alabama, like
Oh,
southern
yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Boxer or something.
Jake
and then Vladimir.
Yeah.
Blah.
yeah. One victim, two victim. But we're close. We're close to the end.
We're edging.
Vladdy Joe sightings. Some raccoon hunters seen him in the woods around midnight a couple of times, but they didn't think it was odd. They figured he may have been doing a moonlight check on his own plywood steel. But we decided to stop at his place one morning and have for a look-see. We were surprised to see the windows were boarded up, but we got a bigger shock when we walked in, and there he was, laying in a wooden box of some kind, made of plywood. He actually took it apart. He actually took apart his steel to make it, He raised up and kind of hissed at us. Made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I ain't embarrassed to say. We asked what in tarnation was going on.
What in tarnation?
And he just said he's just going to go to sleep and told us to get out. Well, something definitely didn't seem right, so a couple of the boys slapped cuffs on him and threw him in a cell while we continued the investigation.
He woke up in
He-
his wooden box.
Yeah,
He sat bolt upright,
And he
hissed at
hissed.
people, and his reaction was,
Get
going
out
back
and
to
sleep.
sleep.
Was he like this?
Can
as
you
well?
leave?
Was he like that?
Oh,
And
mate,
then
he
he
must
got
have
away.
been. He
I
must
knew
have
something
been.
weren't right.
Yeah, at that point I realised something was
He-
up. These fucking investigations.
Now
these
calm
police
down
ones.
from the ceiling, Mr. Johnson.
Vladdy, get down here.
Please close that gate of hell you have opened.
For God's sake, man, shut the window. He can turn into a bat.
Really close to the
Not as
end.
he's falling out the window.
Really close to the end.
In dungarees.
It says, a wild discovery. A check of Crump's cave produced a startling discovery. Among the common brown rats hanging from the ceiling was... bats, sorry. Among the common brown bats hanging from the ceiling was South American vampire bat, Dr. Evans, the amateur naturalist. Clearly, his bat was a source of Crump's addiction to fresh blood. Test proved the prisoner was clearly guilty, but fate spared the town of the trauma of a prime-time trial. The next morning, the redneck vampire was found dead in his cell. He figured he was about to be lynched, so he asked for one last meal, reported Dr. Evans. A deputy obliged by bringing him a 36-ounce T-bone. Well, all that feasting on blood had raised Vladdy Joe's cholesterol count to the bursting point. As he finished his food, he had a massive coronary.
Isn't that a heart attack? Isn't that convenient?
It was justice, Dr. Evans said. Poetic justice. That steak went right to his heart. And that is the end.
I mean, if he was a vampire,
I just want
I'm pretty
to
sure
say
that's not how it works.
I just want to say
What we have just listened to
was no.
is
But
the fictions of a year 5. There was a group of school children that got together. You know when you say if you get 10,000 monkeys and 10,000 typewriters, you end up with Shakespeare. Yeah. This is if you have like 20,000 kids writing out stories.
But how beautifully
like the scribbles of a madman.
But how beautifully written.
Yeah, the ending was poetic.
How beautifully written. Come on.
Compared to the normal dross that we have.
Yeah. How well written was that? It was a great story.
That was
fictional.
Did you write it?
There was a lot in there.
Fictional.
There was a lot in there.
There was a lot in it. I have to admit, the ending of him being killed by a stake to the heart.
Yeah.
That was quite...
It's beautiful irony.
Yeah.
It is.
Beautiful
I
irony.
like that.
Parky, I'd like your verdict.
I mean, look, I agree. I think sometimes we read these stories out, and someone has sat there and is like, "I've got to go madness," but then find a way of like incorporating it into reality.
Yeah.
Like the monkey story we had before. It was like it started off ludicrous, and then it was ludicrous anyway. But
Yeah, it just got great.
but then it was like they tried to like shoehorn in bits that like made it potentially real.
Yeah.
They just went with that and went, we're going to make up a story that no fucking person would ever believe in their right mind.
But we're going to put facts in it.
But we are going to go fucking crazy with it. Yeah, they 100% had that ending already sorted out.
Yeah, props to them.
And then was like, how are we going to get this?
Maybe
in?
he picked Maybe they have every Friday. They just have like a load of like endings in a hat. And when you pick it, you have to write the story.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
it.
Do you know what?
Is it that like whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, basically. Basically,
Right.
yeah.
If that turned out to be how this come round, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
this
fair,
isn't
yeah.
life.
Okay.
But I do appreciate the absolute lunacy to it, though.
Josh?
Yeah. It's
You love a conspiracy theory story, but if you do this, they're going to take you away.
Yeah, no, but as soon as you get to like Alabama, because I feel like Alabama and places like, well, pretty much strictly Alabama, or that's the one you think of, is always like the butt of a joke. In a film, if it's going to be like someone who's like, where you from? Alabama. Like, it's Forrest Gump, Alabama.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's always used, so it's quite lazy. It's quite lazy, like journalism in a way. Forrest Gump was from Alabama.
I know.
Yeah, but
Just made me laugh.
A bad good man.
Yeah, it just made me laugh, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you was calling me out on it.
No, not at all. Jenny. Lieutenant Dan!
I love the fact, actually, that's actually quite a good point, that to just add in a moment, because if you read that out and heard it was in New York, you would have not even bothered opening it.
Yeah.
No.
The fact that you heard Vampire in Alabama,
you know it's going to be gold.
you just like, there might be something in this.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be gold.
I know it's not Vampire.
But so it's quite lazy in that.
I don't think it's necessarily lazy, it's just like you had to do that.
It's the perfect setting, isn't it?
It's
It's the only place.
Unfortunately, it's a true stereotype. I think I've never been.
Change Alabama for California.
Doesn't
Yeah.
work.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
But where did it
Yeah,
say
true.
in Alabama? Because it sounded like a place that was like
Sounded
like
Transylvania.
Transylvania.
Transl.
Yeah, it's obviously all made up, isn't it?
Yeah, it has
I
to
don't
be.
know. Should
Has to
we
be.
investigate more? Will, while we're investigating, do you want to give your verdict?
Yes.
Oh, did you not? Did you not?
Oh,
I thought you did.
God.
I thought you did.
Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
Obviously, this is like no, it isn't life. Just for all the reasons that we've explained.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of going to the contrary, just because props for them writing it like that.
Fair.
for the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more details in that than
we ever get.
Like
really.
a few of our last ones put together, pretty much.
Yeah.
Those last stories we've read.
I get what you mean. But I mean, even the names they've gone of like he's called Vlad something.
Yeah,
Vlad the
and it
Impaler.
is almost
All of the names. I don't even believe that's the person. What was the name of the person that wrote it? It was like something Lake or something like that.
Frank Lake, yeah.
But I mean, that is just like a generated.
Joe would be
name.
better
Like,
if his name been Van Helsing.
yeah.
yeah, Blade. Yeah, so I'm thinking, you know what, just if we can if it's like upvote or downvote, upvote for this.
Okay.
This isn't
So
life,
you
or
respect
this is
it.
life.
You respect it enough.
You know what I'm
on
thinking?
its own
Yeah,
instinct
Yeah.
of it.
on its merits, that was a good story. Again, like Parky said, the irony at the end was just.
Yeah, that was
Perfect.
beautiful. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I personally have got a little soft spot. I've never been to the south, apart from Florida, which is
Yeah, and that was
near-
south enough, wasn't it?
near enough. Yeah.
I guess you can't go anymore south.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go then.
But it's not
End
quite the
of-
same
end
as
of the
like
world.
the Bible Belt kind of, like Georgia and Alabama and
Yeah.
Louisiana and all that.
Georgia.
And there's
I'd love to go to
No,
Texas.
no. It's just that it's the production thing, isn't it? You see it sometimes, like, I think it was at the end of, like, Dexter, it was like, made in Georgia.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got a little soft spot for the south, somewhat for some reason.
Yeah,
I just like it.
Country
Everything's
music.
massive.
Red
I
Dead
I actually
Redemption.
personally fucking love country music.
Yes, and so,
Yeah.
and well, you know I do.
Yeah.
Pop Parky
Yeah.
loves country music, so
Yeah.
and I'd love how good
Rebel
would it be
Radio
for
on
us
GTA.
us four to go there.
The one place I'd love to go to in America is Nashville.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tennessee.
The older I get, the less interested I am in Vegas.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
never
think it
been
looks
interested.
shit, mate.
in
Well, I
Vegas.
don't mind a flutter, like a little bit of a gamble, but I don't know. There's but
It
like
ain't just that everything's super expensive. Everything there is like like designed to take your money.
Yeah.
I think as well, I think it's part of getting older in it, because when you're like 20, because I think I had people when I worked at another company, they did like a trip and a few people went out to Vegas. But like they go to like the clubs and it's like nightclubs and like, I mean it's different maybe if you're going with work.
It's all much of a muchness, isn't it? It's always
But
quite
yeah,
the same
but it
sort
was
of thing.
when they said what they were doing is like they had to pay like 10 grand for a table. And
Yeah.
they had like
Yeah,
Yeah.
one. Yeah, ain't
and
one
it's
in-
almost
all
like
that shit I could not care less
Nah.
about.
yeah,
No.
it's like a rite of passage for like a lad almost. Yeah. Oh, you're going to like Vegas.
Yeah, but the older I get, like that stuff becomes.
Less
I mean,
important.
Less-
Imagine
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there with a massive bottle of Grey Goose with a sparkler in it.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
everyone looking at you, I would walk away.
Could you imagine? I know it's funny. When you go
It's
out
like-
there, you want to make sure you're not going to do it like unless like you've been really successful early on. Realistically, you can wait till you're like 30, 40. You've had a career. You've got some money. You can justify spending like 8, 9 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you go away, your mortgage is nearly paid off. You can go do it then, and it'd be all right. Yeah. Imagine being 42 years old.
Carrying a massive Belvedere
Like your
bottle.
son's like a teenager, and there's a moment where you're standing there with a sparkled bottle of Grey Goose.
And you guarantee it's
Yeah.
going
But that-
Instagram.
that-
Yeah,
ain't rock
that-
bottom.
you catch yourself in the mirror.
That
You think, "I'll kill
is
myself."
that is the expensive equivalent of being in TJ Fridays on your birthday, isn't it? When they sing to you.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it is. That's all it is,
Oh, I
right?
hate when they do that, but at least then you've gone to a restaurant down the road and it's been American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can. That's right, but when you
Yeah, you've chosen to go there and
you
do
have
that.
20 grand, you are a
Do
grown up.
you know
You
what's
are a
worse?
full
Do you know
grown
what's
up.
worse than that? Do you know what's worse than that?
God.
The people that do it in like the clubs over Basildon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
Yeah, so many different
because
reasons.
they
but-
can't get to. They haven't been
Yeah,
successful enough
but
to
then-
get
but
to
but
Las
that's
Vegas.
Like, but that's like
So they
if
imitate
you
doing
can't
Vegas in
have-
Basildon.
that is like the equivalent of you with your mum driving past McDonald's and she goes, "No, we've got McDonald's at home."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
That
I
is-
that's-
more,
that is-
I more
it's
respect
not
the ones
worth
in
it.
Basildon.
Nah.
And do you know
can't.
why? Because
They must be more realistic.
for me, it depends how much you. I suppose if you love it. Because I don't go to Nashville because it's like the epicenter of like.
National
culture.
class, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't do that
But
there.
if you're like if you're like love that kind of music, you love being in a nightclub, you love that kind of vibe, then Vegas is like the epicenter
for
of
you,
that.
yeah.
So then
like
there would be
Ibiza for house music.
Yeah,
sort of
exactly.
thing, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there is no if you took me to Southend but threw me into like a nightclub for loads of people and you would just play music and party for a beer or whatever on a summer's day, there'd be no difference between Southend and Ibiza for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also
You're
think-
inside.
don't give a fuck about
I
that.
also
yeah,
think
you don't give a
that-
fuck about what all comes with Ocean Beach and all the being looked at and the teeth.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the-
So it's no different to me,
But
and I haven't.
in fact, I would hate that more.
I
Like, I'd rather be in Southend.
yeah, I can get home. I go see the wife.
I
I'll see the
think
kids tomorrow.
that the people that are doing it in Basildon, right,
You can look at less
are
expensive people than you.
they're only doing it. They're only doing it in Basildon and places like that because they've pulled all their money together and it's cheaper to buy the bottle than it is to buy single drinks.
But you don't even mind
That's
that.
why.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
get it.
That is why.
No,
That-
I understand that.
yeah. But I think it is time to wrap up. I don't think this is life. For the simple reason that I did Google Transhill, Alabama, and it is not a real place.
No.
Imagine my surprise.
Yeah.
Shock horror.
Not that I thought it was real in the first place. Being a fictional newspaper turned real.
Yeah.
So
I don't, fuck you guys. I'd stand behind my decision.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't mind it coming from Will because I know he lives in reality. But
Yeah.
listening to his review too, say
Yeah, you might
this
go on
is-
about
this
fucking
is life.
spaceships and who
100%
built the
that.
pyramids.
I resent that.
There are, mate, me and Will could
100%
go
that.
back through and mention moments on this podcast that you two have said about.
Parky, can you I don't know. I want to know if you feel the same, right? Sometimes when they go off on one, and I love it when you go off on one about like conspiracy theories or whatever. Sometimes you just go, "Yep," and you don't. You're like, I can't be bothered right now.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to. But
Mine are just theories, not conspiracy theories. So
oh right, yeah.
mine are just
I have to
straight
admit,
fact.
One time on this podcast, we all need to come with a conspiracy theory
I will do this
that
anytime
we
you want.
believe,
Yep.
and that we were to defend against scrutiny of the other three people.
Even if we don't believe it.
Yeah.
But one you do believe,
I want to do believe.
because I mean,
it.
I'm like you. We knew the same with these two. I mean, they can have a list as long as you're on.
I'm so happy it's even sides now.
Even killing it. But there's
Okay.
going to be a couple where you believe some of it.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be
It's
something
not
you
always
believe.
gonna
I've
be
been
that
hard
fucking
facts.
dry.
I think
Let me-
that is a fucking great idea.
Let's do this then. Let's do this, right? I'm not going to pass the baton for next week. We're going to do something that Will wanted to mention the other week in one of our shows, and we're going to do what we've just mentioned now for next week. We're going to talk conspiracy theories, and we're going to have a debate about ghosts.
Yes.
When there's not going to be a story, it's going to be a special episode. We're not going to do a story
yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
We're just going to do that.
Yeah.
Good shout.
I like
And on that note, it's time to end the show.
Join us next week on This Isn't Life Series 2. Now, going to say 2.
Yeah.
Episode 62.
Oh.
Where grown
tell.
men discuss the existence of ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here.